Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Fantasy Football live stream. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. With me today is Mr. Big Pot Energy, the prop prophet, Andrew Erickson. Make sure you check me and this handsome fella out every single Thursday and Friday on the Betting Pros show, too. Subscribe there if you haven't already. Andrew Erickson and I have got a lot to get to. We're going to take all your questions, of course, so drop them here in the chat. We're also going to talk about the signing of Kareem Hunt and a trade. Week 3 trades in the NFL, not something we see very often. Let's start, though, with Kareem Hunt, because I know that's what everybody wants to talk about. We got to talk about Kareem Hunt. Tuesday, we planted the flag, D-Bro and I. We talked about Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is an insurance policy. Maybe in a couple weeks, Kareem Hunt will work himself into a rotation, maybe. But this nonsense, this idea that all of a sudden this $4 million contract he got paid, which is really $2.5 million with a bunch of incentives, is somehow a big deal. Brandon Bolden is making $2.5 million a year right now. So let's not pretend like Kareem Hunt is a huge investment for the Cleveland Browns. We told people not to waste too much money on him. It's one thing if you want to pick him up in a deep league, I get that. But Erickson, what are your expectations for Kareem Hunt, for those people who might have picked him up in a deep league or those people who might be still eyeing him because he's still floating out there in their own formats?
I mean, I think that he's worth stashing as a running back.
Yeah, I'm
I
fine
think
with
that you don't necessarily. I mean, waivers have already run, so I don't think that you're blowing your fab on Kareem Hunt. I know that I had a league that ran last night, so another day, a day after, and he
that.
went for I think probably like 10% of the full budget, and Jerome Ford had still gone for a mega aggressive bid over 50%. So in that league, it was still all about Jerome Ford. So for me, I still think that Hunt has a chance to be the RB1 in this backfield. I get that the argument. I don't really care about the money, to be totally honest. Like, it's all fake money for running backs. Like, they're just throwing out a number. Like, it really doesn't matter whether this guy makes this. Like, Chase Edmonds got big money and immediately like was traded from the Dolphins like after like 3 weeks. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't matter how much Alexander Madison's making. It doesn't really matter to me because running back is replaceable. So they're just going to play whoever they think is the best guy. So I think they want Jerome Ford to be the guy. I think that makes sense. And to me, I don't want to necessarily buy this argument that, okay, well, Hunt wasn't in training camp, so they don't want him. It's like, well, no, because they were ready to move on. They wanted to see Jerome Ford be the guy, earn the
Right.
job, and be their guy. So yeah, as long as he doesn't face plant, then he should be the guy there. But they have to have a backup plan in case he does face plant because he's still an unproven player. Like, he's not an NFL player that we've seen produce at this level. And Kareem
Sure.
Hunt was playing over him last year with Nick Chubb. Like, Jerome Ford
Mhm.
didn't sniff the field as a rookie because Kareem Hunt was still on the team.
Right.
So it's the leash that it's concerning with Ford, where how long of a leash does he have on this starting job if things start to spiral? And it really is concerning because week 1 or his first start is going to be against the Titans, the worst run defense you could possibly in terms of matchup for Ford.
That's what I keep telling everybody.
That's
You're
the
going to be
big
disappointed no
concern.
matter what happens on Sunday
Yeah.
because when Pierre Strong has 4 catches for 47 yards and a touchdown, and he's the best fantasy point getter in that backfield, it's going to be fun. I'm going to be unbearable Monday morning when that happens, if that
So
happens.
so
I'm just
for
telling you.
me, if I had Ford right now, I think I saw a question kind of sprinkle in here. Like, I would probably try to sell high on the fact that he's going to be because
I would kick the
this
tires.
is
Yeah.
peak value right now. Because again, even if you earned him in Fab, like, there's still a chance that you could get high because his value is not going to be as good as it is right now after he plays the Titans. Like, it's just not. He's going to have a bad game, more
Probably.
likely
Yeah.
than not. So just based on the how the market works and how reactionary everybody is to what they just did, it's gonna be like, oh, he sucks. Kareem Hunt's taking over. So I would sell now and try to cash in onto a more stable running back that you could potentially get.
All right. Now, speaking of stability in the backfield, it looks like the Minnesota Vikings didn't feel too stable with Alexander Madison because they made a trade for Cam Akers, which is nothing, swapping some late 2026 picks. I mean, who knows where we're all going to be 2 years from now? I mean, that's all it took to get Cam Akers. The Rams just wanted to get rid of him in the worst way. And he ends up with Kevin O'Connell, which I know, like, this has got to be your favorite thing ever. Because, and somebody who watches the shows knows, that in Andrew Erickson's basement, it looks a lot like Law and Order, maybe not the SVU version, but maybe one of the other versions, where he has got all the different coaching pictures up and it's on a cork board, just like in those movies like Seven or any of those movies where you're like trying to find the killer. Erickson's doing this every offseason where he's connecting offensive coordinators and who used to coach this guy and who had lunch with that kid in college on a recruitment session. He's doing all these things. And you got one of them. You got Cam Akers. And look, the Minnesota Vikings obviously got off to a slow start with the run game. Maybe Madison is not who they thought he was. But I think Cam Akers' value has really rebounded in a very good way because he's ended up in possibly a better offensive situation if he can win the job. The question is, can he win the job, and should you be holding him, or should you also, like Jerome Ford, be selling high off the theoretical good play that could be ahead of him, as opposed to the reality, which could be a split backfield?
No, I don't think that we'll get a split backfield. I think that the Vikings have been pretty clear that the way that they've used their running backs, even last year, it's like Dalvin Cook was the only guy that they played, and Madison really
Pretty
didn't.
much.
It was never split. So in this year, so far, Madison has not been that great, but it's really been all him. Like he's been playing 70% of the snaps, and that's like status quo with the Sean McVay tree of running backs. Like Todd Gurley played all the snaps. We saw it with Cam Akers when he played all the snaps. We're seeing it right now with Kyron Williams. He plays all the snaps. So I think that it's going to be all or nothing with Cam Akers. Like he's either going to totally dethrone Madison or he's just going to be the backup. So for me, as someone that was not high on Madison entering the year, much higher on Cam Akers, just as like from a talent perspective, like I think Cam Akers wins out the job. So for me, it's a hold because if they were really confident, happy with Madison, they wouldn't add a running back. Like there was no injuries that I've seen that they had to add a depth guy, like in the case of Jerome Ford with Kareem Hunt. The Browns had to make a move. The Vikings didn't have to do this. They found an opportunity to buy low on a running back that
but the
was
coach
available.
wanted to. And I think that's the most important thing because there is a connection to the coach in this instance. And the coach wanted Akers. So if the coach wanted Akers, that means he is not being fulfilled by what the expectations for Madison were. And I think that's the trail of breadcrumbs you follow there. And I think for those people, and look, I don't know how many questions you got about it, but I got a ton of Cam Akers questions this week. I know I kept saying to everybody, just hold him. Don't drop him. That's stupid. Let's wait and see where this goes in the next week or two, and then we can reevaluate. And I understand it sucks to wait on a guy who might be dead weight, but look, you only had to wait a couple days. I don't remember last time we got a trade in the NFL in week 3. Do you? Like, I mean, this is not, sometimes we don't get trades at all at the trade deadline, let alone week 3 where trades are happening. And it's not going to be the last running back to get traded. It's going to be a wacky, fun time, I think, in the NFL. Jonathan Taylor, I think, is eventually going to get traded. A lot of fun things are going to happen. But of course, this is a live stream where we want to take your questions. So make sure you drop your questions in the chat. We see a bunch of them before we get going with those questions. I want to remind everybody to subscribe to the channel, like the stream, and comment below with one of your questions, and you just might win a Deebo Samuel autographed jersey. That's right. Thursday Night Football's own Deebo Samuel. Check out Bogman and myself on Betting Pros at 5 Eastern for that live stream, by the way. Talking Thursday Night Football every single week. But in the meantime, drop the comment below, subscribe to the Fantasy Pros channel, and this autographed, glorious, white and red, beautiful piece of art, Samuel jersey, can be yours. I know everyone's very excited about this. We did Tyreek Hill last week. This week, Deebo Samuel. Some good ones going here, so make sure you're with us for Fantasy Pros. All right, let's get on with the questions. Let's start at the very top here. Let's go to Duck, Cuck. Quack. John, that's really how you're going to start me. John, you're ready from the get-go. They're going to start me with Duck. Zay Flowers or DeAndre Hopkins this week and rest of season. Easy for me. Zay Flowers. I don't even need to Andrew Erickson.
Zay Flowers is like this, just going out. And this is DeAndre Hopkins is like this, just going down. Just like
it's the 2 arrows going in different directions. That's what's going.
They're going to completely different. Hopkins is on the back 9. Zay Flowers is just heating up.
Zay Flowers has a cart. Zay Flowers has a box full of cigars. Zay Flowers has a 24-pack of Titleist, and he's ready to go. He is ready to go. Let's go to Slayer 1200. Trade Garrett Wilson for Breece Hall.
Yeah, I think that based on the running back landscape we're currently in with fantasy, again, if I have to attach my hip to a Jets player, I would rather attach to Breece Hall, assuming that if he gets healthy, the Jets have an easier schedule in the second half of the season. Maybe they can figure out their quarterback play by then. I think that you're going to be happy with Breece Hall as someone you can try to stash. And I think receiver production is easier to try to replicate with somebody else than Garrett Wilson.
If you attached your hip to Aaron Rodgers, would he still be able to play?
No.
Like a 3-legged race, like the two of you out there, like taking snaps. Maybe not against the Cowboys, but
he's coming back, Joe. Did you hear? He's coming back.
Oh yeah, all right, sure.
Just like Cam Akers came back.
Nutrition Nut. Do I keep or sell Ford? Well, we did mention that, so we kind of touched on that already. I think it's worth putting him out there on the block because Andrew is right. After the Tennessee game, if he should falter, that stock comes crumbling down. And it doesn't mean that he's not worth starting the following week. I have to look at the Browns' schedule going forward, Erickson. I don't remember exactly who they play in week 4 and 5. They have an early bye, if memory serves. Is that
week
correct?
5. Yeah, I think week 5 they have a bye week.
So that's going to be hard because like you'll end up getting this first game against the Titans, right? Which is going to be bad. I'm looking at it right now. The second game is against Baltimore Ravens. Okay, a little better than a bye. Then the San Francisco 49ers. You know what? The more I think about it, the more I want to trade Jerome Ford because that is not a fun couple weeks. Number one, you can't use him in the bye. Number two, you can't use him in week 6 against the 49ers. And this is not going to be a good week. So really,
and
this is your
again,
window.
it goes back to the point of if he's underwhelming, the coaches aren't going to look at, oh, well, he was bad because of the matchups we had were bad. No, they're going to look at it like Madison. Madison had 2 bad matchups, played bad. What do? They add another running back. This is going to be a month later that Jerome Ford's going to underwhelm probably just based on the matchups. And now Kareem Hunt has been with the team for an entire month to get back up to football speed. So it's like after the 49ers matchup, who's the Cleveland Browns starting running back? Is it Jerome Ford still, or is it Kareem Hunt? Like, yeah.
I hope it's Pierre Strong. That's all I hope. Matt Ellis, half PPR, need to. Zay Flowers, DeAndre Swift, and Breece Hall. Zay's definitely in for me. Look, it's hard to sit Swift after what happened last week. Now, it is a tougher matchup theoretically. Like the one thing Tampa is good against is the run. Breece Hall's been chirping for the football, so this is kind of a tricky one, but I think Zay's got to be in. Who would you pick between Hall and Swift? I guess Swift?
Yeah, I
right?
mean, I think
Just
you
for
got to go with
total?
Swift. I mean,
You got to play the odds.
He plays on a better offense. Again,
Right.
Breece needs to get a ton of volume to get the job done. Whereas Swift, okay, he plays in a good offense. Okay, let's say he splits carries with Kenneth Gainwell, whatever. He's still explosive. He can still make plays. Maybe he scores a touchdown because the Eagles are going to be in the red zone. So I think that Swift's probably the safer play. But Swift for me is also like a sell high guy. Like that game we saw on Thursday night, book it right now. That's the best game of DeAndre Swift's career. Like that's it. It's not going to get better. Like I'm just telling everyone straight up, it's not going to be better than it was on Thursday night. If someone's willing to give you King's ransom, like I saw trades where you could get Travis Etienne for DeAndre Swift.
What?
Like, let's go.
No. No, don't do that.
Etienne didn't have a good game in week 2.
I know. Well, that's another one's going to bounce back this week, too. Decipher, hey, guys, should I stash Akers or A-Chain in an 18-team PPR league? Why is Akers out there in an 18-team league? That's 18, crazy. Damn. It's Akers by a country mile. Tanner Denny, good afternoon, guys. Should I pick up Russ or Goff and drop Jared Goff? No, why would you do that? Especially this week.
Ford Field, baby. Ford Field.
Ford Field, the new Colorado Rocky Stadium. This is Erickson coined it on the Betting Pros show today. All right, let's go to Jay Stradford. Is Kyren Williams or Breece Hall in full PPR a good trade? Excuse me, Kyren for Breece Hall a good trade? It is if you're getting Breece Hall.
I mean, I think that if you're 0-2, I probably wouldn't do this because I just don't know where the Jets are going.
That's a good assessment.
Kyren is the immediate production. Like right now, he's the guy until he's not the guy. So again, I think it's based on if you are 2-0, I love stashing Breece Hall for the long term. But if I'm sitting 0-2, I need wins. I'm not going to trade Kyren because he's healthy right now and he's in a good role. He has a good matchup this week. That's the way I would look at it.
You're right. You're the voice of reason. I would still do it anyway if I was 0-2 because I got nothing to lose. I can't get worse. Breece Hall at least gives me a chance there to be competitive, whereas, 3 weeks from now, I just don't know what I'm going to get out of Kyren Williams. Charlie Garcia, and I do think Breece Hall gets the squeaky wheel grease, as it will, this week after chirping about
that's the only chance the Jets have of winning.
Oh,
if they just give the ball to Breece Hall like 20 times.
And if they do, they might. Charlie Garcia, start Godwin or Aiyuk if Aiyuk is healthy. Well, Aiyuk, even if here's the thing. Playing and healthy are not the same thing. So even if he plays tonight, it doesn't mean he'd be healthy. That being said, it's hard to sit Aiyuk in this matchup against the Giants. So if Aiyuk is on the field, do you play Aiyuk or do you wait and just try to go with the healthier guy in Godwin?
I'm probably just going to play Godwin. I think Godwin's still safer floor. Like he's not going to give you a 0. It's a good.
They'll be behind. They'll be behind. And Baker Mayfield hasn't thrown a pick yet. Yet this season. I want to emphasize the yet. Big giant Y for the yet.
I would Y. Again, like the 49ers, do they need Aiyuk to beat the Giants? Like, let's be real.
No.
Like, they have so many other weapons and like
Well, that's why this whole Saquon thing 2 days ago, I rolled my
Oh my
eyes at when
God.
Brian Daboll was talking about, well, he's a very fast healer and he just might play. Are you crazy? Like, you're not going to win this game anyway, chances are, okay? You're just not. Even if you had Saquon, you're not going to go on the road to San Francisco on a short week and win that football game. So why not sit Saquon for the 10 days or the 2 weeks now and get him right and then try to get the season at 1-2 back on track? Like, it's just so stupid to me. And I understand there's a competitive nature in the NFL. I get all that. But that was just never going to happen. And they,
Like,
it screwed up a lot of people too.
and I think too, the 49ers, like we see some of their like their top 4 guys, McCaffrey, Kittle, Aiyuk, Debo. We always see like one guy miss time at some point during the year. And what happens? Oh, the other 3 guys all just step up and they
Right.
all just do better in fantasy. And then you just don't play that one guy. So yeah, I think that Aiyuk I'd probably try to get away from, because I think it's it's also a pain tolerance thing. So it's like,
Right.
if they get up, all right, they're going to take all right, we're getting Aiyuk out of the game, like, because he's like banged up. Like, we don't need to keep playing him. So I think Godwin is just much safer. He's going to get you points, less concerned about, because he's
Yeah. Why
healthy.
would you want to throw Saquon against the best run defense anyway on an injury? Like, that's a terrible, like, you're just asking for a 6-week injury. You're asking him to push it too
Especially
far
ankle
for a game you're
injury,
not going
where
to win.
he's
Right.
had ankle
Where
injuries
there's a
before.
weakness in there anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that, Brian Daboll. All right. Adele Ibrahim. What do you do with Tyler Higbee and with these Rams wide receivers, PPR league? What do you do here?
I mean, you drop Tyler Higbee. Don't need him.
Drop him.
He's
Drop in the Higbee.
Drop him.
All right. Let's go to Bulletproof 13. Do I start JSN if Amon-Ra St. Brown plays with DK Metcalf's rib situation?
I think that both Jason and Amon-Ra, or I think that Metcalf and Amon-Ra
It seems like they're both
play.
trending towards playing.
Yeah, they're both going to play.
All right, let's go to Fernando Augusto. Mostert or Pickens? I like Mostert this week, to be honest. I don't trust Kenny Pickett enough.
Just Mostert, you got to keep playing him as long as he's not broken. Just keep playing him.
Well, look, and so far it's a good matchup on paper, at least. Gary Sousa in DFS this weekend, too. It's a good matchup. Gary Sousa, half-point PPR. Start Garrett Wilson or Brandon Aiyuk. I think you start Wilson here, and you hope for the best.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's got one more rabbit to pull out of the hat. Like, I mean, look, it's a lot to ask 3 weeks in a row for him to do it, but I mean, it's, you know what it is? It's like a DIY thing. Garrett Wilson and Zach Wilson together. It's like make your own touchdowns. It's like, here's the ball. It's not going to be near you. It's not going to be in a good situation. See if you can make a touchdown out of it. It's fun. It's going to be on the HGTV channel. That's what it's going to be. Let's go to the next question here. It's Dave. Great show. Love the stream. We love you, Dave. I need to start one in full point PPR. Gibbs, Ken Walker, or Kyron Williams. What do you want to start, Erickson?
I think you got to start Gibbs. I mean, David Montgomery's not going to play. If you're not starting Gibbs without David Montgomery, like, why did you draft Gibbs? That's my argument. It's like, if you have this guy, you have the Ferrari, and the truck's out of the way, David Montgomery's not playing, I think you got to start Gibbs.
By the way, this just came out. We just talked about this before the show. Bryce Young is not expected to start Sunday with the ankle issue. Andy Dalton,
dude,
the Red Rifle.
We talked about it on the Betting Pro show, but now I think I'm on board Carolina +6. Actually, +6.5 now.
Yeah, run to Betting Pros and bet that right now. Because Joe Lisi was already.
Yeah, he was into Carolina, and I like Carolina more. I talked about, like, Andy Dalton right now is probably a better quarterback at the NFL level than Bryce Young is. Like, just in terms of facilitating an offense that can actually score points, I think that Dalton's probably set. He can see over the offensive line. Sorry. Someone had to say it.
They did measure him before. You know, like, it's not, I mean, it's not like they didn't know. I don't understand what's going on. So, whatever. All right, let's get to the next one here. Let's go to laser set to stun. LaPorta or Goedert in a 10-man league?
Goedert.
I do like Sammy Ball game. I do enjoy the Sam LaPorta, but I think you still got to go Goedert too. It's getting close. One more week of this, and LaPorta might just go past him. Chester Cruz, Jared Goff, or Matthew Stafford?
Jared Goff. Ford Field, baby.
Ian Olson, I have Joe Burrow and Anthony Richardson. Which is a better start, or do I go get Love? You might have to get Love.
Oh man, I guess both his quarterbacks are injured. I would play Richardson if he clears concussion protocol. Don't know if he's going to. Is there any way this person can wait out? Do you want to start Burrow at all if Burrow plays? Like, and then just wait, because you could always swap to Baker Mayfield or Stafford on Monday night, because you have those options too as potential waiver wire guys. I mean, Love, I think, is like just a an play this week. I don't really like him that much.
He is an play this week. It is the first home game, so I think there'll be some excitement in the building for him, and I think that'll help a little. I always want to start Burrow if I can. My only concern with
Right.
Burrow is Aaron Donald. Like, that's my big concern this week for him. Like, if you don't have mobility, you better be real
Do you
careful.
think Burrow's
Aaron
gonna?
Donald's
Do you
coming
think
back.
Burrow's gonna play? I think that's a better question.
I think it's less than a coin flip he doesn't. I think he needs to take a little time here, which is
I
bad.
kind of agree with you. I think they
But the
should probably
problem is,
sit him.
Erickson, you're gonna go 0-3. Like, that's I mean, 0-3 is the death knell for the most part in the NFL.
I mean, look,
It is.
I mean, the Rams. Look, I know the Rams have played much better than we thought that they were going to, but I mean, are they really? Like, I don't know. I think that the Bengals could potentially still win without Burrow. I mean, the Rams' defense is still not that good. They have Aaron Donald. We still don't know the names of the players. I'm serious. Still don't know the names of the guys.
We know the
They
names
still
of the
got
players.
Chase.
No,
They still got
but here's the
Higgins.
thing. You do, but I mean, you've had them the last couple of weeks and it hasn't looked good. The only saving grace if you're the Bengals and you go 0-3 is the Steelers have not looked good. Their offense has Kenny Pickett has not looked good. The
It's also
Baltimore Ravens are a weird team when you watch them too. They do things well and then other times not so well. And then there's the Cleveland Browns who just lost Nick Chubb. So I guess if you're the Bengals, you're looking at it and you can say
I think
maybe we can get by.
the Rams again are an NFC team. So losing against an NFC team doesn't really hurt you in tiebreakers because it's just overall record. So I mean, at this point, the Bengals are like, okay, we don't care about the division. We just got to make the playoffs with Burrow healthy. Like, and then that's it. That's all that
Do you
really
think
matters.
it's a better chance Burrow or Richardson plays?
I mean, I don't like this concussion thing is complicated because it seemed like after last year, everyone that got a concussion was going to miss the next week, basically no matter what.
Basically, yeah.
That was kind of like the consensus. Now there's
See,
been a
and
couple
that's
guys
the case. Like, if you have, see, here's the thing: you have Burrow and Richardson. It's only a single quarterback league. And the problem here, Ian, is that now you're gonna have to go a third quarterback deep because you don't really want to drop Richardson because
I don't
that's
want to drop
bad
any of those guys.
Right, you don't want to drop
Trade
Joe
one of
Burrow.
them.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, you might want to think about looking at your lineup and saying, just pick one here. Like, do you want to just, get out of the Joe Burrow? Like, whoever gives you back the most, maybe that's the guy you should trade.
Or you just go into Monday night. Maybe the rest of your team scores enough points, and it doesn't matter what the quarterback gets anyway because you're already winning.
Maybe, like you said, Baker Mayfield will be that guy, but then you have to make that hard decision. But you might not be able to drop somebody on Monday night. You know what I mean? Like, you might be out of roster spots. Everybody could have played. So it's a very dicey situation.
You could move Burrow to IR potentially if you have an IR spot.
Like I said, there's a lot of moving parts here. A lot of things happening. One thing that's happening over on Betting Pros, by the way, is our NFL contest. So if you want to bet 5 games a week, you don't have to bet. You just got to pick them. It's free. bettingpros.com/NFL contest. That's where you go. The grand prize winner gets a Jackson Smith and Jigba jersey. We're doing monthly prizes. We're doing weekly prizes as well, giving away swag to the BP shop, to the FP shop, like hats, t-shirts. You can get, I don't know, they got elbow pads, helmets. I don't know what they've got. They got a lot of fun things over there with our new logos, which are very snazzy, by the way. And of course, all you have to do is just pick 5 games a week, 100 on the season, and you're entered to win every single week, something new. So go ahead and check out NFL Contest. Go to the Betting Pros app, click Community tab, and just join NFL Contest, or just go directly to bettingpros.com/NFL Contest. All right, let's continue on here after Ian's question, which was a good one. Hiroshi Sawamura. Hi, guys. Half point PPR. Pat Frymouth or Jake Ferguson? It's Fergie for me all day.
I'm playing Frymouth.
Oh, why?
Raiders.
Jake Ferguson leads the league in tight end red zone targets. He's got 8. 8! And he's playing the Arizona Cardinals, who always give up touchdowns to tight ends.
Frymouth is playing the Raiders, and there's no Deontay Johnson. I mean, the Steelers' offense is the Steelers' offense actually has a good matchup this week. They're not playing a juggernaut defense.
Hiroshi, don't listen to Erickson. Listen to me. Play Ferguson. I'm your guy. There you go. I love it when we disagree. It's fun. Western Goods. How do you feel about James Conner, Erickson? How do you feel about James Conner?
I think he's a volume-induced running back too. He was during draft season, like he is every week. Like I mean, if you drafted him, like what were you expecting? Like he gets a lot of volume. He may or may not score. He plays on a bad offense. Like
they were expecting the 17 touchdowns from a couple years ago that he had. It was a crazy number.
Were people really expecting that?
Well, no, I don't know what they're expecting, but like that's the thing to me. When I look at James Conner on a board, I have 0 shares of any Arizona Cardinal this year. 0. Not any of my 12 teams do I have one single Arizona Cardinal on it. It's just not a good team.
I don't have Yeah, I'm pretty sure the only time I drafted James Conner was
0.
when he was like in the 8th round on Best Ball.
Nope. Not
That's
even
the only time
then.
I would draft
Like,
James
nope.
Conner.
Jennifer Hafner lost Chubb. Who do you like better this week, Swift, Algier, or Kelley in the half-point PPR? Well, I love the total of the Kelley game because that one's already in the mid-50s. So I would lean there. I think Kelley is the safest of all the plays. And I know it's hard to say that because of what Swift did last week, but I don't think you can copy and paste. But what do you think?
I agree. I mean, I think Kelly's in a good for a bounce back.
Well,
He
think
looked
about
good
what
week
Swift
1.
did against, again, who did he do that against? The
Minnesota.
Minnesota Vikings. They could not stop anything run-wise. So why not go with Kelley this week? It's the same concept.
Yeah, and the Chargers have shown, as dumb as this may seem, like the Chargers have shown a willingness that they will run the football if they get good run looks. And Minnesota showed their defense is like, hey, run the ball, please do not throw on us. Run the ball, and the Chargers will be like, okay. I mean, they're the Chargers, so they'll probably find some way to mess it up. But that game is also fascinating. It's like a 1-point game between the Chargers and Vikings. I might
No,
bet I might just bet
I
it to be
just
a
put the over.
tie, to be honestly. Bet to be
No,
a tie because both
nope.
teams
Stay
don't.
away from that game. Just bet the over because it's not going to disappoint. There's no way that game disappoints.
Oh, what
I've
you're telling
watched
me?
those two defenses the last 2 weeks. They cannot guard anybody. The Vikings can't stop the run. It is going to be the most fun you could possibly have.
So you're
in
telling
fantasy.
me that Vikings and Chargers are not going to disappoint us?
I'm saying
The two teams that disappoint us all the time.
in terms of somebody's going to lose, yeah, somebody's going to be disappointed. But I don't think it's going to disappoint us in terms of points. No. This is going to be in the 60s, this game. Like, this is 38-35 written all over it. I mean, this is just no defense. None. Lil Floppa has a question. That's a great rapper name, Lil Floppa. I like that. What would your rapper name? Are you like Lil? I don't know if you're Lil because you're tall. People don't realize Erickson's much taller than he appears on television. You know, I'm short. I'm 5'8". Erickson, what are you like 5'10"? Erickson?
Yeah, but that's not tall.
6 foot? I don't know. It's tall to me.
I'm not 6 feet. There's no way.
You're tall to me.
Unless something changed, I didn't know.
Maybe be yeah, because I can't call you Lil. Maybe young, like young Spiky.
I like young
because your hair, young Spiky.
Yeah, young Spiky.
Yeah, I'm Lil Baldy, and that's young Spiky, and this
Baldy.
is Lil Floppa. Lil Floppa seeing a whole lot of love for Dalton Kincaid online. Start Kincaid over Goddard in a half PPR. No, I don't think you do that yet. Kincaid is worth rostering though, because if he continues to grow into this offense and continues to work in the slot, the targets will go up and he will start to evolve into a player worthy of starting. Right now, he's a DFS option. He's intriguing, cheap tight end guy, but he is not over Goddard yet. I don't think we can get there yet. I think that's bad fantasy. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean Goddard had a bad week 1, bounced back week 2, and then it seems like everyone's trying to bury him. It's like he's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Demille Jacobs, Captain Kirk, Brian Robinson, AJ Brown, Debo, Kelsey, Mike Evans. Would you start Ford or Pierce at RB2? So the RB2 spot here is who? Like who's the? Oh, it's between Ford or Pierce. Okay. So Damian Pierce or Ford. Who would you rather start?
I don't want to play either of these guys.
I don't either. That's the problem.
I guess I'll say Ford, yeah, because I think that the Browns can at least move the ball like pretty well against the Titans pass game, and you could see him get a goal line touchdown. Just like Pierce, I think I talked about this on the Start Sit show, but like Pierce has no offensive line. Like the Texans they're not healthy. And hopefully they do get healthy so we can actually see Pierce like do something. And I feel bad for the guy because he just has no shot because he gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage every single play. He doesn't stand, and he's just not involved enough in the passing game. So I think I would lean towards Ford there. Just I think Cleveland can move the ball a little bit easier against Tennessee than Houston's run game, and Pierce is just not involved in the passing game enough.
All right, let's go to by the way, my TikTok I made is blowing up. If you don't follow us on TikTok, we have 18,000 views already, and they just uploaded it. It's funny. Did you watch it? Yeah, it's funny.
I have not. I think I haven't watched it yet.
I posted it in the channel. It's a good time. It's about the tight ends this week, so go check it out. It's a good time. Follow us on TikTok, Fantasy Pros. There you go. TikTok influencer. That's my new job. That's all I want to be now when I grow up. Who says that you get too old to start making new goals in life? Never. Not me. Not me. All right, let's get to the next one. Parker Mills, full PPR, Gainwell or Jones Jr. I know it's rough out there.
Marvin Jones?
I guess. Like, is that
Gainwell? Dude, Marvin Jones is dust. He is the dustiest of dust.
I mean, I would try Gainwell and see what happens. Juan Cifuentes, trade Puka for RB1 like Bijan. If you could get
Oh
Bijan Robinson for
yeah,
Puka,
let's
you do that right now.
go.
You do
Yeah,
that right now.
you got to
Don't
shoot for the
stop.
moon with Puka. Yeah.
Pause the live stream, make that trade, then come back and watch. That's what you do, Juan. Well, good luck. I mean, anything's possible. People are crazy. People are nuts. And look, I love Puka. Puka's been fun. We've had a lot of fun here on the show with Puka Nacua. It's a good story. He seems like the best kid ever, too. So we're super happy. And I'm trying to think of, these guys who get drafted late. Stephon Diggs is the best comparison, right? And I was somebody who was very on Stephon Diggs back in my Sirius XM radio days. And I actually called the big breakout game with him and Teddy Bridgewater in DFS, and he was min salary that week, and I made people thousands of dollars. They were very happy with me, but my co-host was not happy with me because he said it was bad fantasy, that it was very, you shouldn't have started Diggs. I'm like, well, if you read everything that was going on and you listened to what Teddy Bridgewater was saying and you listened to the beat reporters and everybody was telling you that this kid Diggs is going to hit, Diggs will hit. And maybe Puka could become Diggs. I don't know. We'll see. Scott Bogman did mention, though, to me, Erickson, that Puka in college did have trouble staying healthy and staying on the field. So that's one thing to factor into your Puka Nacua decisions. But if you can get Bijan for him, geez.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, injuries are always going to be, and the fact that, again, to bring it up, but the fact that he's seeing so many targets and getting tackled so
Right,
frequently
exactly.
but that's, I think, where you'll see a positive with Cooper Kupp coming back, where Puka's not necessarily getting as much volume, but the entire efficiency of the offense improves because Cooper Kupp is on the field. Because as
The
good as
minute
Puka's
Cup comes back, I'm sending out Puka trade offers.
as good as Puka has been, the one thing he hasn't done is score. Like, he doesn't have any touchdowns.
True.
So you're
True.
going to see, I would imagine his touchdowns increase when Cooper Kupp gets back and the offense is more efficient overall, which I think is actually just better for his longevity because he won't be taking on as many hits, which just are not a lot, especially for a guy who had some injury history entering the league.
You know why I love trading for Puka Nacua when Cooper Kupp comes back? For two reasons. Number one, people will be all like, oh no, Kupp's coming back. Puka's not going to be anything. But as you said, look at the OBJ role a couple years ago in that offense, right? Remember when OBJ did
Robert
nothing but
Woods
catch
role,
touchdowns?
yeah,
Robert
all
Woods,
that.
like those guys were super productive on the other side of Kupp sometimes. Here's the thing. You get Puka cheap then when Kupp comes back. And if there's a re-aggravation, this hamstring thing is a problem, guess what? You just bought low on the guy that you couldn't touch because you had to trade Bijan Robinson for him a couple weeks ago. That's the strategy. If you don't have any Puka shares and you want to get some Puka juice, just wait till Kupp comes back in week 5, then send your trade offer. Let's go to Fernando Rocco. What do you do with Joe Mixon? How do you solve a problem like Joe Mixon, Erickson?
I mean, I think that you keep him. I mean, he's still seeing a ton of volume in his backfield.
That was very profound. I think you keep him. That was good.
Yeah. I mean, are people like willing to just sell running backs for nothing at this point? I mean, there's not a lot of
But I
running
think
backs
we all
left.
warned everybody the lack of spectacularness that was surrounding Joe Mixon anyway going into this year. So the problem becomes if Joe Burrow is out, all of a sudden, this offense already was struggling. It's very hard to be enthralled with Mixon. People say, oh, you get volume. Okay, maybe. But what's the quality of that if you can't move the football? Let's go to Unk Fester. Should I keep Hunt or pick up Roshan Johnson? I was going to say from the Bears. I would want Roshan Johnson 1,000 times over than Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, Roshan.
It's Roshan Johnson. And we even got some news, too. I think it was Dan Graziano was reporting it, that the Bears are looking to make that adjustment very soon. Like, they're in already on Roshan. So, hope you drafted him because, goodness knows, July and August, that's all I talked about. Joe96, Justin Fields or CJ Stroud. I didn't think we'd get here this fast, but I understand this one.
No, Justin Fields. Justin Fields is going to literally run all over the Chiefs, and people are going to feel like idiots because I benched him. Justin Fields.
He's a fascinating DFS guy this week in that game because they're going to be from behind. He's going to run a ton.
Yep.
That place
and
is
no one's
going to
play him. No one's going to play him because
I agree.
He's priced right between Justin Herbert and Kirk Cousins. Do you think anyone is going to click his name? Not a chance.
Nope, but I will have a Justin Fields lineup this week because I agree with you. I think that's a very smart thing to do. I understand the question, though. Fields has been rough.
Justin Fields has more fantasy numbers. Justin Fields has more fantasy points than Trevor Lawrence. Why aren't people benching Trevor Lawrence? I don't know. Just saying.
Damn.
He has more fantasy points than Lamar Jackson, than Trevor Lawrence, than Dak Prescott. Nobody's mentioned those guys. Just saying.
Nobody? By the way, everybody, don't forget as well as watching this show here, we've also got amazing tools here on Fantasy Pros too. So if you're trying to juggle a bunch of different fantasy lineups here and you feel overwhelmed, I'm begging you, get my playbook, download the app, use the multi-league assistant tool It's going to help you simplify everything in your life. Well, at least your fantasy lineups anyway. So with the multi-league assistant, again, at fantasypros.com/myplaybook, you can see the latest news, notes, rankings, and you can also set all your lineups in one spot, make everything clean, easy, nice. So dive into it. Let us help. Download the My Playbook app. Make sure you sync all your leagues. Let us help you with all of our amazing tools to make your life easier, more efficient. Because look, this is crazy times here with injuries. How do you know if your guys on your team you want to look at are going to be in or out? How do you know like who's got this player, who's got that player? You go, you search the name, boom, right there. It tells you in every league who's got which player and if the player's a free agent. It is so valuable. It's such a time saver. I hate going from app to app. It's a pain in the rear end. My Playbook is great. Let's get to Rafael Negron. Njoku or Ertz? This is a tougher one.
I would say
I think Njoku.
If it's full PPR, I would just lock in Ertz because he's the
He's
engine
only
to the
guy.
Cardinals offense, unfortunately,
Well,
which
I
is
don't think
why
there's
they're
gonna be
bad.
much Cardinal offense this week. DVA, PPR, Zay Flowers, Josh Kelley, Rashad White. I'm playing Zay Flowers, but Kelley's a good play this week too. I'd get Kelley in the lineup. Do not play Rashad White against the Eagles. That's a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea, I think. Corrington Halliday. That is a great name, by the way. I'm pretty sure Corrington Halliday sounds like somebody who played Division I football. Full PPR, Shaheed, Hurst, P. Ryan, or Breida in the flex. Shaheed. That's where I'd go.
Not Breida. Don't play him.
All right, let's go to the next one here. Friend of the show, Danny Dimes or Matthew Stafford?
Danny Dimes. Did he forget how to forget how to run?
For 1 week he did, but he was then again he was running for his life in the first week. So I guess
you can't pick and choose with the mobile quarterback. Like the mobility trumps all when it comes to quarterback scoring. It's so easy to bank on, and if he rushes for 40 yards, like he's starting his game with a touchdown already. I would still start Daniel Jones.
By the way, also news here: Jamal Williams was the only New Orleans Saint not to practice on Thursday, so you ain't getting Jamal Williams this week.
Does that mean this is
right?
it? Week 3 until Kamara comes back. This is Kendre Miller.
It's all Kendre Miller time. You must be so excited. You got Kendre Miller and a trade based on former coordinators. Like this is like everything's coming up Millhouse for you
week
this week.
3, I'm gonna get Justin Fields 1% owned in DFS. Kendre Miller thrown it. Oh, it's gonna be great.
I am with you though. Like that's the best time to make sure you go in it. Like there's 2 things this week. First of all, I don't think that the Minnesota Charger game is good. Like that's the good chalk for a reason. I don't think it's going to disappoint. But that Lions game, that's the game I want to be involved in. I'm telling you, like that's the other one too. Just points, lower roster percentage. Let's go with Tobias Sartori, Dameon Pierce, or Juju in the flex. Like you got to go Dameon Pierce because I don't think Juju sees a football. Like
against the Jets.
At least Dameon Pierce is going to touch a football. Like that's
you got to hope that Dameon Pierce doesn't like fumble and get knocked out of the game, and then you're left with a -2. But I'd go
Juju. By the way, Tobias, you need to make a move here. This is no bueno. Somebody's got to be out there on the waiver wire who's better to stream than these guys. Somebody has to be Tobias. Dan 18. DJ Moore, Zay Flowers, Nico, Dotson, pick 2. I want to pick Zay Flowers and Zay Flowers, but I'll let you pick one.
Nico.
Not DJ Moore with your Justin Fields bounce back?
No, because the bounce back with Justin Fields is all based on rushing. I want no other part of the Bears.
So you don't think it's me throwing the ball downfield, Justin Fields? This is me running for.
This is me playing into what my strengths are, and if no one's open, I'm going to run. Like because I'm not.
Problem is, people were open last week, and he just didn't throw them the football. So.
What a
weird situation. Can we talk about the weird situation with that defensive coordinator too? Did we get any insight on what's going on there?
I have no idea.
That
popped up, and I was like, wait till like.
Well, first the FBI thing popped up, and then he wrote this resignation letter, and then the Bears had one sentence release about him. It's something. I don't know when the shoe's gonna drop, but I can't wait to see what it is. It's something. I don't know what it is. This could be crazy.
Justin Fields dropping 100 rushing yards on the Chiefs defense.
Let's go to Dirt Diggler. Standard flex 1, Kelley, Pierce, Warren, Godwin, DJ Moore, Dotson. That's Kelley for me this week. Telling you, the Minnesota Vikings don't tackle anybody. They ran at will. They ran at will.
It's like the Vikings weren't even trying to stop the run.
Dude, it was embarrassing. And it's not because it's embarrassing, like, oh, we'll get better next week embarrassing. They don't have the personnel. So if they
Well,
don't
they
have the
did.
personnel to
Well,
play
they were
they don't
missing
have
one
the
of their
personnel.
linebackers. Kendricks wasn't playing.
I know Kendricks wasn't playing, and Kendricks is a great player, but still. Robert Lavelle, another friend of the show. Good afternoon, fellas. PPR. I need two running backs, and 3 wide receivers. Here's our running backs: Joshua Kelley, Jerome Ford, and Kyron Williams. Not Kendra Williams. I don't know Kendra Williams.
No,
But
Kendre, or is he? Wait, is he talking about Kendre Miller? Maybe.
no, I think he meant to say Kyron Williams, and it probably just autocorrected to Kendra Williams.
Kelley and Kyron then easy.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah,
And
2 running backs.
receiver, pick 3 out of this group: Zay Flowers, Keenan Allen, Puka, and DK Metcalf.
I'm probably just gonna bench. I mean, we
I think
got to
you bench
bench.
DK because he's not 100%.
Yeah, it's just like you have. That's a good problem to have, I guess. The best way I would
Yeah.
put it, and I just
Yeah.
bench DK
Yeah,
because
I agree.
DK is kind of up and down. Where it's like, oh, it's a lock it week. I got
He's
to
up
check
and
the.
down, and he's hurt.
I got to check the
So
primer to see if the defense he's playing is man coverage or zone coverage.
that's
That
true.
usually will tell you what your answer
It
is.
is.
But
It is. If it's
yeah.
zone, you sit him. If it's man, you play him and you sit Puka. RML, what do you do at running back with Pierce? I can use another wide receiver. Yeah, use another wide receiver. The offensive line is bad. Erickson already talks about it. Zachary Ketterman, Jordan Addison, or Nico Collins for the flex. I'm going to say Addison. I'm going to play the total.
I'm going to say Nico.
Okay, why?
Well, Nico is 5th in the NFL in receiving yards after 2 weeks.
Good
We talked about the over in the Jaguars Texans game on the Betting Pro show. So we do like there to be some points there as well.
Yes.
And he's the number 1 target on his team. Addison is 3rd. Again, it's just like Addison doesn't catch that bomb.
He is.
So I think Collins.
No, you're right.
I like Collins more.
Addison is touchdown dependent.
It
doesn't say what the format is. If it's full PPR, I can understand Collins. Like I'm cool with that. We're cool. We're not going to disagree like the Ferguson thing that happened earlier in the show. We're going to get past that. Luke Stamba, how do you feel about Puka Nacua? This is all caps, so I don't know why he's yelling at me. I feel like I need to sell high. That's what he's saying.
I mean, I agree. I would just want to get a wide receiver 1 or running back 1 back. Like that's selling high, in my opinion. That's a good return on investment.
ATN for Puka Nacua. You make that trade?
Yes.
Okay. I assume you want ATN, right? Like that, just to be clear. Okay. Maria Jose Ordonez. Should I start Kirk or Tua?
I mean, I feel like Kirk Cousins. I mean, this is such a good spot for Kirk Cousins.
This is Kirk smash. I think you got to.
It's just like it's lined up so perfectly for him, especially at home. Chargers are so bad. Somebody has to win this game.
This is not a knock on Tua. This is just I think it's Kirk. I think you got to.
You just think that the Chargers can just push the team more. Where Denver's offense is just meh. It's just
Denver. Let me tell you, that's going to be a page 1 rewrite. I don't think Peyton is happy at all with anything.
Dude, I would make sure that Jarrett Stidham is rostered in every super flex league that you're in because
hell of an idea.
Russell Wilson. I don't know how I don't know how many more games you're going to go through this with him.
Could you imagine getting benched for Jarrett Stidham? You know, there was a part of me, Erickson, that was like
Derek Carr got benched for Jarrett Stidham last year.
There was a part of me going into this offseason here, or going into the season, I should say, that you didn't hear a lot out of Russell Wilson. It was very quiet. And I thought, oh, maybe he's really like kind of recommitted, refocused. Like maybe, Peyton's really gotten through to him and all this stuff. Because last year it was so loud, right? All the let's ride stuff, all the I'm Mr. Bronco, I'm going to come and be the savior of the organization. Like it was so loud last year.
Yeah.
And it was so quiet. I was like, okay, maybe they're going to really do something here. It has not been good. Although that Hail Mary was fun. That Hail Mary was fun.
And then they lost.
What was that? Wait, that was a huge PI.
Yes.
That was such an obvious pass interference that they did not call. I mean, that was absurd. I mean, I don't know what you got.
But but again, like you got the Hail Mary, which they shouldn't have completed in the first place. So
I know, but they did. Let's go to Bull Guard, half PPR, James Cook or Joshua Kelley. I think I got to start Cook. Kelley.
Yeah, Kelley. Assuming Eckler is out, assuming with all these Kelley questions, like this is assuming Eckler is like not playing.
It seems like we're trending in that direction that Eckler's going to be out, and Brandon Staley's going to be out by week 6.
Oh my, yeah! If they lose, is he coming back on the plane?
That's a good question. So even though we're starting Joshua Kelley, if Eckler is out over Cook, don't forget you could still win a James Cook jersey or a Deebo Samuel jersey. We got the Cook jersey going on Betting Pros, but we got the Deebo jersey going right here. Subscribe to the Fantasy Pros channel. Click the bell till it goes ding. Drop a comment below. That's it. That's all you got to do to win this jersey. It's glorious, too. People are really hot for this one. The 49er fan base is strong. Let me tell you, they are. I see you. I see you. I see you in the comments. I see you. Very excited about the Deebo jersey. Very excited about Deebo Samuel this year. Let's do a couple more questions, and then we'll head out of this piece. Andrew K, Kyron Williams, or Josh Jacobs? I say Jacobs this week.
Yeah, Jacobs.
John Merrill, RBs, Pacheco or Kelley? Kelley.
I like Pacheco.
You like Pacheco this week? I mean, look, the total
He's
I get.
Playing the Bears.
Kelley's playing the Vikings. I keep coming back to. I understand he's playing the Bears, but Mahomes, I think, wants to Mahomes this week. Like, he is at home. It was a wretched loss in the home opener. Then it was a crappy win on the road. Like, Patrick Mahomes wants to go out there and throw for 380 yards this week, and everybody needs to catch the football. Like, I feel like that's what he wants.
I feel like the Chiefs might treat this like an exhibition game where they're going to try to like tweak things out in the offense and try to figure out what works.
How about try catching the freaking football? How about that?
Yeah, they got to do that. They got to practice.
Censor myself there.
And
for
you
a
got,
second.
hey, did you know Kadarius Toney's injured again? Weird, right?
Kadarius Toney's hurt? No, not Kadarius Toney. I'm shocked. What is it today?
What is it? I don't know.
You hurt his Twitter finger? Is that what he hurt?
I don't know.
This guy. All right, let's do one more question. We'll get out of here. So from Frank Allen, should I pick up Baker, Pickett, Ritter, or Mac Jones? I have Burrow and Daniel Jones. Well, I assume this is a super flex question, right? But why are all those quarterbacks available? This makes no sense.
Yeah,
if you have Burrow and you're worried, start Daniel Jones. That's it. Let's not end on that note. Let's end on one other one here. Let's go to Jonathan. Jonathan Rose wants to know, trade Olave for Travis Etienne. That I do not do. I want Olave still.
So this depends on if you're going to get a running back, you're going to have to sell low on one of your wide receivers. Like, that's the only way to acquire running backs because they're more scarce than receivers. So it depends on his roster. Like, if he feels good about his other receivers and your running backs, if you're looking at like, yeah, I'm starting Jerome Ford and Josh Kelley this week, or like you have no running backs left. Like, if you drafted Chubb, you drafted JK, and if you have to move a receiver, then I think ETN is probably at least.
You better have a lot of depth if you're moving Olave. You'll get about a ton. I'd always rather the receivers because those are the guys who don't grow on trees. Like Puka Nacua does not grow on trees. You know, like the fact that this is happening is abnormal. Yeah. The getting running backs to stream off the waiver wire, the Roshan Johnson's coming off the waiver wire, the guys that, the Jerome Fords, like there's going to be other injuries. I hate to break it to everybody. There's going to be other injuries. Other guys are going to emerge. Maybe start looking for some of those premium guys who are the backups now. And if you're in deeper leagues, maybe make your life a little easier. Make your life easier too by liking the stream. Make sure you go play with us over at NFL Contest over at bettingpros.com/NFL Contest. Make your picks, win cool prizes. Don't forget to drop a comment below and subscribe to this channel here at Fantasy Pros. That way you get that Deebo Samuel jersey. Again, that's all you got to do. Click the bell till it goes ding for notifications. And of course, download my playbook. Use the Fantasy Pros tools to make your life better, to make fantasy fun the way it's supposed to be. Fantasy is always fun with me and Andrew Erickson too. Check us out Sunday for our live stream, 10 a.m. Eastern too. You can check us out then. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for Andrew Erickson. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.